Hello and welcome to this episode of the Hunting Illinois podcast. Today we have a pretty special episode. We've got a couple past participants who had some success during the recent spring turkey season. So we wanted to kind of invite them on, hear a little bit about those hunts went. I know the cool thing is a couple of the birds were harvested on IRAP property, some on private land, and I think even a little bit of public land too. So we've got quite a good cohort here. So I'll let you guys just kind of take it away. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we just want to really hear how your guys' turkey hunt went and how you can learn from those experiences to increase your odds of success even moving forward. So I'll start with you, Freddy, if you want to just tell us about yourself, and then we'll just bop it down the line and just kind of move right along.
Some Perfect. Of you might recognize Freddy from hunt camp last year. Freddy was the hot shot ring toss, and he was the only one that put the ring toss on the antlers, and he won a gun at hunt camp. So some of y'all might think he looked familiar. That's where you might have seen him from.
And a pretty cool gun too. That's a sweet little 22.
It is a nice little 22. It's a nice Golden Boy Henry. So.
Were you able to get out and use it at all on squirrels or anything this year?
Not on squirrels, but I did brought it out when we did the pheasant hunt.
Right, we did a little target shooting before that. That's right, yeah.
Correct, yeah, and it's nice and it's perfectly sighted right out of the factory. So, so my name is Freddy Reyes. I am with the Illinois Learn to Hunt. I've been with this program for about I want to say close to a year and some change now. I attended you guys' turkey seminar last year up north here in the Chicagoland area. Previous to that, I only hunted turkey for 1 year. I was actually successful with a bearded hen in 2021.
That's cool. That's cool.
I didn't know they were so rare, and I didn't save anything besides the fan. But then after the seminar, I got a lot more tips and ins and outs on how to do this, and I've been successful the last 2 years. This year we went back to Lee County on private property, and it was the group of guys that you're seeing here right now, Jaime, Pihero, and another guy named Ivan as well. He's not on the call, but yeah, we were all able to harvest a bird this year, and it was kind of cool. On Monday, Pi and I did a double, so that was kind of
cool.
neat. So
now, were you guys all kind of hunting in one individual segment?
So Jaime was hunting on IRAP. He's the only one that was successful to put an IRAP site this year. And then last year we met a guy that lives in Lee County. He was able to let us come and hunt his property. He's got a couple hundred acres out there. And he doesn't really hunt as much. So he's like, yeah, if you guys want to come out, just obviously the whole 9 yards and the whole rules of like clean up after you leave,
sure,
make sure you leave it. So we were able to come out and hunt his property, and we were there on Friday, the Friday when third season started, scouting and just trying to see where we can find the birds roosting, the turkeys roosting. We found a couple of spots, and that's where we decided to, kind of camp out and look for the birds that day, or the following day, I should say.
4 for 4, can't argue with that. That's pretty good. What do you remember, Dan? What's the statewide success? It was only like 20%, isn't
it? Last time I did the full math of the totality of people who get a spring turkey license, it was actually about just a hair under 15% is kind of the overall statewide success rate. So you guys are batting well above that average. So good, kudos, good for you guys.
Thank you, absolutely.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you. I guess it's my turn now. Unless you got something else to say, Freddy?
No, go ahead, Jaime.
All right.
I really want people to hear your story. It's really cool. So
thanks. I might stutter a little bit, but it's all right. Well, I'm Jaime. This is technically my first year turkey hunting. I actually started hunting last year with Freddy. We met up last year, 2 years ago, maybe.
Just about, yeah.
Just about. He's the one that, hey, let's go, trap shooting over there in Des Plaines. If I'm saying that correctly.
Wilmington,
yeah, Wilmington back in 4th of July with actually Pi right there. We call him Pi. His name is Pihero, but we call him Pi. We went out there, we started shooting, we started hanging out. He's like, hey, let's go hunting. I'm like, oh, that'd be great. Because my dad, wanted to hunt when I was 16, 14, but we never had the opportunity back in the day. So now I bring him along with me. But yeah, this was my first year doing turkey, and I was thankful that I was successful this year.
Are you hooked now?
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah. I will say that I am. I am really happy that we got one. Unfortunately, I couldn't take a picture of mine. Blew the head off, and social media doesn't allow more stuff like that. So
Sure.
to post things like that. But yeah, no, I'm very happy. I already ate half of it actually. We made
Nice.
flautas. I don't know how you would say that in English. What's it called?
Taquitos.
Taquitos. Yeah, taquitos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we
Yep,
made those.
yep.
Yeah, we made those, and they tasted very delicious. I know Ivan made
Awesome.
enchiladas, so it was pretty good. But yeah, I had an IRAP site in Lee County, which was with Richardson Wildlife Foundation. I had Site 5. They actually went out with me that Friday too to go elect out and give me some pointers of where to do it because I've never turkey hunted before. So it was my first time like, hey, this is where they roosted. This is how they roost. I didn't know that they roosted so high up in the trees. I really didn't know that. And then when we started walking, we saw a couple of them and a couple flew by. And when I looked up, I was like, they really get up that high. And I didn't know that they had to get a running start, kind of like airplanes, to get up there that high. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, they're not very good flyers.
No, yeah. I will say that they are very edgy birds. That's when the one that I did, I was very lucky enough that I was, planted in the blind. I was up high. They had what's it called, the ladder stand. So I was actually on top of a ladder stand.
Okay.
I was lucky that I was in the corner of a ladder stand, and he was coming across maybe 200 yards, trying to round out like a pond. He was coming around the pond, so I was lucky enough that there was brush in front of me and trees around it that I was able to bring him in, which I thought was pretty cool. I've never done that before, so I was able to make him come towards me, get him pretty close enough to kill him. So I was very happy. I was excited. I was like, I couldn't even, I was jumping well, not jumping, but like my adrenaline.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, oh man, it's like I actually killed one. I actually killed one. Yeah, like I actually did it. I
Man,
actually
that's
did
awesome.
it. So it was really
And
nice.
especially watching them kind of come in and responding to your calls. That for
Oh,
me,
yeah.
that's why turkey hunting is one of the best things you can do is just having that Curtis and I describe it a lot when we're talking to people at workshops or even on the podcast. It's very much as close to elk hunting as you can get in Illinois, right? It's very similar to that style. A lot of calling, a lot of movement. You're active. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I will say that the first, because I killed mine. Saturday. So my Saturday, was it Saturday or Sunday? When did I get
Saturday?
Saturday, yeah. So I killed mine Saturday. I will say that out of the nervousness, I dropped my call after I shot him on the ground. So I was like, because I tried doing the mouth call and I got bad gag reflexes, so I couldn't do that. I had to use I forgot what it's called,
The slate call.
the slate call. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I'm not familiar with the terminology, the slate call.
No, sure.
Which I actually got pretty good at it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very surprised that I got good at it. But yeah, I dropped the stick down. I was like, oh no. So I had to get down. So I was like, I'm getting down anyways to pick up the turkey, so I might as well just pick it up. But But out of the nervousness, I jumped up and I was like, oh, everything went flying and everything fell. So I was like, oh no. But it was a little great.
So how long did it kind of play out from the moment that did this all play out in a matter of like a minute or two, or did it take 15 or 20? Or
it took about like good 15 minutes, I would say, yeah. Because like I said, he was 200 yards, and he'll walk a little bit and make a little noise. I would make a little noise, and he'll stand up and I'll like look around, and then he'll start walking again, and I'll try to make I only try to make noise when he was walking, so that he wouldn't see me, because I was afraid that he was gonna see me. And at one point,
did you read that somewhere, or did you come up with that? Because that's actually a brilliant strategy.
I figured, I'm like, if he's walking, he's not gonna be paying up high, not looking for me. He's gonna be looking underneath. So I actually they didn't know that was gonna.
That's
work.
awesome. Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's what I was doing. I was like, so he would walk, and I would call him, and then he'll stop, and then I would stop, and I would stand as still as I could without making any movement. And I was like, I worked and I was really proud of myself that I actually made it work towards me. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, if I didn't kill it, I would have been happy anyways, because I actually made him at least get close to me. But yeah, it took me a little bit. Good 15 minutes.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Well, I guess I'm the last one. Dan, Curtis, first of all, I appreciate you guys for having me on this call and getting some insight on what we're doing, and it's really cool, man, what you guys do and everything like that. My name is Pihero. Nice to meet you guys. I started hunting about like a year ago as well with Jaime down there, and Freddy as well. I started actually hunting because of Jaime and Freddy. Funniest story is one day he just called me up and said, "Hey, you want to go trap shooting?" I said, "Let's do it. There's nothing much, much to it." And then after that, I mean, the rest is kind of history. So that's the fun part about that. Um, the hunt, man, just like everybody's saying, when you get your first turkey, those shakes are something that is, oh man.
It is so frustrating because you like are trying to tell yourself, okay, calm down. Because for me, it even still happens to this day. It doesn't matter how many deer I've shot, how many turkey. It's still every time those shakes start. And even though you're trying to tell yourself, just relax, take deep breaths, you just cannot get those things to stop.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. And it's like, it's just the adrenaline rush, the smell of the gunpowder afterwards. Man, it's all about getting your blood going and just heightening up your senses in that aspect. But me and Freddie were lucky to hunt in Lee County this year, which we ended up, me and him got doubles, which is awesome. He got one and I got one, which I wasn't expecting, but hey, it was the luck of the draw that day. I guess the best part I can explain to you from that day was, it was early morning, and just like Jaime said, you see them and you hear them coming down from the trees. So you have a little start of where they're coming from, where they're going, and just to see one coming your way when you were able to call it, oh man, that right there is your own little victory. Especially when you're out and you got one about, mine was about like 100 yards away when I was first in the blind. I got a couple calls out of it. I scared it, but luckily Freddie was able to get it on the other side of the field. So it kind of like, so it was like, it's one of those like, all right, I didn't get it. It kind of went its way, a few 100 yards away. Freddie started making his calls, and then he got it, which,
That's
hey,
hilarious.
that for me is a win-win right there. If I can't get it and one of my other buddies can, he can call
Hmm.
it in. Awesome.
It worked out perfectly. He sent it my way, and I just got lucky. Thanks to
Yeah.
So was he
God.
totally spooked when he started coming your way, Freddie, or was he more just kind of cautious and something doesn't seem right over there?
Well, there was a small flock. It was about three hens and
Oh, okay.
the one tom that they were flying from that direction. Well, not flying, but they were like more running. Those things are fast. They were flying and kind of running from the direction where Pi was set up. So I'm like, oh man, I don't know if it's gonna happen because he already spooked them. So I sat there, maybe 25, 30 minutes calling in between as well.
Yep.
And then I saw the whole flock. It's about four birds coming my way, and I have really bad ADHD, so I was just about ready to call it. I'm like, man, these things are not coming. And I get up, and next thing I know, I see them. I'm like, oop, I froze like a statue. It literally took me about 5 minutes to shoulder my shotgun and shoot this bird. Just because they're so smart, dude. Like they see every single little movement. But no, if it wouldn't have been for Pi spooking on my way, I don't think I would have gotten one this year. So thank you, Pi. You're the real MVP.
Hey man, if I couldn't get it, you could. But after that whole encounter, I kind of like, cause I have like a blind setup, so I was like, you know what? Let me break it down. Let me start cleaning up my area, and like we'll
What
call it
time of
good.
day is this? Did all
Oh
that
man,
happen like pretty early for
so
your?
Freddy's was, I think, almost before noon or 11
Yeah,
around there.
somewhere
So
around
that
there.
was,
Yeah.
that was awesome. And I was like, all right, you know what? We'll do a couple more hours and see what happens. So around that time, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm just gonna set up. I'm gonna break down, set up for me to go home, and just start walking to the car. We can meet up and go from there. As I'm doing that, across the field, thank God for binoculars, I see probably like maybe probably like 100 yards away, by a little bit less. I can see a tom, and it's not just one. It's a good chunk of them, and I'm like, I've got to try. I've got to
So
try.
they came in silent. You didn't hear them. You just
Oh,
all of a sudden looked up and
No.
they were there.
not at all. Not at all. They came in super
Wow.
quiet. I actually saw them because they were feeding. So as one head went down, another head went up. So it created like a little motion for me. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was just like one of those cranes that you see at the edge of the riverbanks or something like that, because it had a really long neck. So I was like, "No, you're too far. Like I'm not even gonna go that way." And all of a sudden, I hear their gobble gobble, and I'm like, "Oh no!" Like, okay, hold up, let me see if I can bring you in. And then finally, when I decided to do that, they were coming in closer. They were feeding a little bit. And just like Jaime said, you want to call just a little bit as they're feeding or not looking. It works great. It works amazing. That technique is probably my A1 right there. They were feeding a little bit. As they looked up is when I would stop. All right. They would eat a little bit, a little call. They would look up and they would come closer. All right, now you're about 50 yards away. I got you pretty much where I want you. My brush is just a little bit too thick, but that's okay. If I get you about 40, 30, 35 max, I probably could definitely get you down where you're not going to
And so
fly
you're
away.
not in a blind at this point. You're just kind of
Oh,
hunkered down.
oh, I completely did the army style crawl. I was on my belly. I was looking through my binoculars. I was doing the
Yeah.
whole crawl through my mouth. Like, I was making sure that every single time they looked up, my head went down and my binoculars
I
went
love
up.
that.
Like, that was me completely 100% of the way. Shotgun was right next to me. Safety on at all times until ready to fire. And then, yeah, sure enough, it started coming in about almost 35 yards out. I took the shot. My Tom did a backflip, and I said, "All right, let's go from here." So that was definitely it right there for me.
Man, congrats. That's
Thank you.
awesome.
Appreciate
And
it.
so, Freddie, where were you at this point? Were you able to see how all this played out, or had you already kind of left the field to deal with your bird at this point?
Yeah, I was running in the middle of the field because mine was still. I'm like, dude, if I don't go get it, this thing is probably gonna fly. Uh, I wasn't 100% sure that I got a headshot, but once we started dressing the bird at home, we saw where I shot it. But I was just so nervous that it was gonna fly away. And the funny thing I want to mention is we went scouting on Friday. We hunted on Saturday, so Jaime was the only one that was able to harvest on Saturday. Or no, Ivan too. But like I said, he's not here in the call. And then Sunday rained all day, so I was like, yeah, you know what, this sucks. We packed up early on Sunday. We went home around 11:30 or something around there.
Yeah.
And then Monday morning, everybody woke up and we're meeting at Jaime's house. It's like 3 a.m. And I could tell nobody wanted to go hunting. Like, I know I didn't
Yeah.
want to. I was wet from the day before. I was discouraged because I couldn't get a bird.
Not just that.
And we go,
I'm sorry, I interrupted. Don't forget
go
that
ahead.
Ivan's truck broke down that day. He was remember
Oh, yeah,
my
yeah.
actually my truck
Right.
broke down Saturday coming home with
On
the turkey.
Saturday.
Sunday coming home with the turkey. My truck
And then
broke down,
Ivan's-
and I'm like, hey guys, my truck is out. Let's take somebody else. And then literally Monday when we're all about to go, Ivan comes to my house, parks it, shuts it off, and we're all getting ready to go. It won't start.
And the truck won't start.
Yeah. So like it wouldn't want to
Yeah,
start at
so
all.
it was.
We're like
we were
we're
we were literally calling it like we're not going hunting today. But
Yeah.
hey, I'm sure everybody here is glad that we went. We decided, you know what, we're already here. We did the hardest part, which is waking up at
Yeah,
2 in the morning.
absolutely.
No, and I'm sure
No,
glad
but
that
I
we
mean,
did. It worked out for everybody. So
it's the experience, honestly. I mean, sometimes the hunt is the best part, but sometimes just gathering a group of your friends and then just having these experiences in between, man, it can sometimes just motivate you or just be like, maybe today's not the day, but we all hustled through, powered through, and we all came, on top. So that's a win-win for all of us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those stories like that make it a more fun hunt, right? Because like
Oh
if
yeah.
it's just smooth and everybody gets one on day one, I mean it's still fun, but you don't have all those stories of trucks breaking down and people being tired and ready to quit, but then coming through. Like that's what gives it that whole story from the beginning to end. Like the movies we like to watch, right? There's a conclusion. There's trials and tribulations, there's laughter, there's tears, and then in the end, hopefully the good guy wins, which in our case is the hunter, and they get turkeys, which all happens. So you guys are a regular Disney movie playing out right in front of
no,
us.
it was great. Like I said, I know. I'm not speaking just for myself. I was kind of discouraged. I'm like, man, Jaime's truck broke down, and then
Oh no,
Ivan's
yeah.
truck broke down. And I was driving my truck. I'm like, man, last thing I want is my truck to break down. So I'm like, man, should we go? Should we just call it a day? But no, I'm glad these guys are the ones that keep encouraging each other. We encourage
Oh
each
yeah.
other to just go out there and just get it done. And
Yeah, definitely.
if it wouldn't have been for these guys, I don't think we would have been able to be successful this year. So Jaime, bye, and then Ivan, who's not here, thank you guys very much for
No problem,
for
buddy.
encouraging me and
No, Sam.
all the
Oh, of
smack
course, buddy.
talking
I
that
mean,
motivates
yeah.
me to keep going.
Hey,
So
no. Thanks for like.
Yeah,
Hey,
of course.
like I said, thanks for showing me how to use the call. I will say that I did go to your seminar last year, for the Turkey 101, so that did help me a lot. I will say that ever since I was practicing. My wife got tired of me doing it inside, so she kicked me out of the house for that. She's
Oh,
like,
I'm
no,
sure.
we're not doing it anymore. So she's like, go to the garage. Go to the garage. So I would go out to the garage and do it in the garage because, yeah, she wasn't. Except also when I do the duck calls, which I'm not good at still. But she's like, no,
Yeah,
any
yeah.
calls, You're not doing it in the house anymore. Go out. So other than that, yeah, it was. I will say that if you
Yeah,
get
and that's
nervous. I mean, once I will say that I didn't mention that earlier, but when I was calling mine, I got a little nervous because sometimes I did mess up. Like you do mess up. You're not. I mean, I'm not. I wasn't perfect, but and that's why sometimes I feel like, oh, he's not gonna come through all the way because I would like scratch too loud or it wouldn't make a noise enough on
Sure.
those calls.
oh
That
no, yeah, of
so
course, definitely.
so, but hey, luckily,
Yeah, and he's right about that with the calls because sometimes putting those mouse calls, I really sound like an elephant, you know, trying to like blow my nose or something. But yeah, I mean, sometimes when you blow those incorrect calls and you just kind of see them like, wait, what's happening really? You're just like, oh, okay, calm down, calm down. You're getting too excited. Don't do too many calls, you know? Like let us work
It's
his
easy to
magic.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And I mean, Curtis can tell a story. And this is one thing that I kind of push heavily anytime I take somebody new turkey hunting is like turkeys all sound different, right? If we try to like pay so much attention to the tone and the individual note you're hitting, you'll drive yourself just absolutely crazy with how often you make mistakes. But really, it's just about the cadence. I mean, Curtis was out, I think it was 2 years ago, at a piece of public land near us, and we all kind of had a draw at that individual property, pretty much different seasons. So I think Curtis had one or two, I had the one after, and then one of our colleagues, Jason, had the one after. And we all identified this Tom because of how he gobbled. He gobbled so weird that you could just almost instantly tell, oh, that's the old gobbler that just doesn't sound right. So all the birds sound, a little bit different. So as long as you match that cadence, which it sounds like all you guys did, that's really the important thing there.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to you a little bit, Jaime, and hear about the IRAP process. Okay. Was that pretty straightforward once you were awarded a site? Because I drew one a few years ago, and they send you like this awesome packet of information that has basically everything you would ever need to hunt that site. Could you just kind of describe how that process played
Freddy's
out
the
for
one
you?
that actually got us on all that IRAP. We all applied for it. Unfortunately, I was the only one. Like I said, me and my dad were the only one to get one. But my dad, he didn't hunt anything. He could only go hunt Saturday and Sunday. He didn't really get anything those days. But he's the one that helped me fill that, and it was pretty much straightforward. It asks you where you go to the website. It asks you where you want to hunt, where what day, what season you want to do. We all decided the third season. The only thing that it'll you get a packet in the mail. It takes it took us I think 3 months to get that packet in the mail. Once you get in the packet mail, it tells you the specific the coordinates of the site. So it gives you the site coordinates. It gives you the paper windshield card that you're gonna need for the card. It gives you the layout of kind of where your boundaries are at, which I use. I'm not gonna lie, I use Onyx because I would walk and I would use my phone to see after like when we went Friday where the boundaries of the land were. Because of other than the paperwork, I would have never known. But I use Onyx to kind of outline it on the phone, and then I would kind of walk my path through there, and I would mark where the turkeys were and where I heard them all, where the stands were. But so it gives you that paperwork. It gives you the QR code that once you're done, which you have to fill out and submit in for all that. Once you're done.
Is that just like a little
it's
survey type
asks
thing?
How many did you see? What did you kill? How big was your Tom? Did you kill Tom? Did you kill Jake? And when was the hunting period? And did you like it? So I was like, that's kind of the online process after you hunt. You have 15 days to do that once you do all that stuff. But it tells you in the process, it tells you this one was like a one man. I could have an observer with me, which I didn't have an observer with me this year. I didn't think about adding one this year actually. So that sorry, I'm jumping back and forth. I'm not very good at telling stories and stuff like that.
No, you're good. You're
so
good.
when you fill out initially, it asks you if you want an observer, non-observer. So I chose no, and then it gets in the mail. On the front, on the back, it gives you the site. It tells you site 5 or site, whatever X number site. You open it, it gives you the coordinates to the site, and it gives you a map of the overlay where you're supposed to park. What your boundaries is. And the next paperwork, it tells you what can you bring. Like it tells you that you can put up a stand or a blind, but you got to take it down at the end of the night. You can leave it there at your own discretion. If it's stolen, it's stolen, but you can leave it there. Maintain it clean. Tells you how many people you can have on the land. It tells you. I think it also tells you what time you can hunt from. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I know Freddy told us it's only till 1:00.
And then it gives you a little description of the terrain. Remember that part too.
Yeah.
So it tells you,
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't look.
Habitat, trees, and all of
Freddie
that.
knows more about it than I do. I'm like, hey, Freddie, I got the paperwork. Help me, read through this stuff. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not very good with all that stuff. So And I know he's done it before, so I usually be like, "Hey, Freddy," I send him a picture. Are we good? He's like, "Yeah, you're good. This is where you're at," and he'll send me like a link, or I'll look at Google Maps where the location was, and which
Sure.
that's a little tricky, I would say, to put the coordinates. For me, at least, is a little tricky because it just gives you your longitude and latitude. And if you put a digit wrong, it won't find it. It will not find it no matter what you do.
Right.
So, other than that, yeah, it's pretty much like you park your car where you're supposed to. It tells you there's a specific sign where you're supposed to park. You park, you put your windshield card, and you go hunt what you gotta hunt. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you liked the process enough that you would probably all put in for
Oh yeah,
IREP
definitely.
again,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, no,
cool.
no, yeah, I liked all that process. It's nice because you're all alone, so you get to do it.
Yeah, you basically get a
Yeah.
little piece of private land to yourself for
Yeah,
your
you
segment.
get to do it. I mean, you get to go out and be by yourself, which I mean, like I said, I was fortunate enough to kill something, but if I didn't, like I said, it was beautiful out there. I will say that. A lot of deer, like I said, there was a lot of deer there. Fortunately, you couldn't kill them. And they would walk up 30, 40 yards from you. They would even see you and they're like stare at you blankly, and you're like, man, and they'll like start moving or something. I did try that. I
Yeah,
was running and
that's
I did
cool.
say Matt, and he like stopped at one point. One of them stopped and looked at me, and then he's like, and then just started running again. So I actually know that actually worked, but yeah, I actually proved that they work. But yeah,
That's cool.
y'all know, yeah, definitely I will be trying to get more IREP sites and things like that. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Nice. How about morel mushrooms? Anybody find any mushrooms while you're out? Get the double whammy mixed bag there?
No, I didn't. I know I didn't.
Not
No,
really, no.
unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
No.
It would have been nice have a little turkey breast with some morel mushrooms. That would have been
Oh,
a
yeah.
nice meal.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
No.
Yep. Not
Yeah.
quite surf and turf, but what did we call that last year, Dan? I feel like we called it like
We came up with something clever. Yeah.
fouling fungi or I don't
Something
know.
like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I will say, out of all this experience, I'll give it up to our wives and our partners, because man, for them dealing with the breast or any part of the turkey and making some good flavor out of it, that takes some skill. Yeah, I'll tell you that much. Because we all know turkey's like kind of one of the most driest birds that we got out there, but man, they are. It's just, if you put in something with a good sauce or something. Oh man, some pot pie or something like that. Oof.
Now,
Oh, it
I
comes
heard you
out
guys
real
talk
good.
a little bit about a few of the things you guys have made using some of that
Yeah.
meat. Have you guys experimented much beyond? I think I heard enchiladas, taquitos, that kind of thing. Have you experimented much beyond those two?
Yeah, I mean, for me, my biggest ones were, so I took everything that I could from both sides of the breast. I had completely every type, anything I could for me. And then my lady, she decided to make something that's called tinga. And tinga is like if you were to shred the turkey, okay, making it like shredded turkey in a sauce, and then you eat it with chips, you eat it with lettuce, cheese, and sour cream, and some beans. Oh man, let me tell you.
Ah.
Oh yeah,
Is
it's
it like a
delicious.
tomato sauce?
Yes, it is kind of
Uh,
like a tomato
Okay,
sauce.
okay.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a chipotle sauce, isn't it? Like a chipotle creamy
The,
sauce.
it's a chipotle sauce with some tomatoes in it to make it nice and
Yeah.
creamy. And then you just add salt and to add flavor and stuff like that. But
Ooh, that
yeah,
sounds good.
it's real good. Definitely with some tostadas, like some chips, like some like hard tortillas, I guess you could say, like crispy tortillas.
Okay,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then you just dig
Getting
in.
I
hungry.
know.
I know. So that was
Yeah, like
definitely.
it.
And
Gonna
then
have to.
we're
Yeah, if
thinking
you guys
about.
want to share any of these recipes, they
Oh
sound
yeah, of course.
pretty good. We'll have to blast them out and let everybody try them because I'm the same way. Like what you talking about wild turkey? It's dry. It's
Yeah.
white meat. It's kind of bland. It's not the same as a deer where you just throw the steak on a grill and everybody's gonna like it. But when you make a nice sauce so it's not dry, and
Yep.
especially combine it with some kind of tortilla, something like that. Oh, it's just
Yeah.
it's good at that point. It tastes like any other protein out there.
And the
Yeah,
one thing that
definitely.
we do, I don't know if this is just the Hispanic or just because we're crazy like that. We try to use everything on the bird. We notice
Oh
that
yeah.
a lot of people harvest the turkey and the first thing they go for is just the breast, and then they discard everything else. But you got so many good things in there. Like you got the heart, you can eat it, it's delicious. Once you try heart, it tastes all the same. You got the gizzard, the legs, even though they got a tons of nerves and ligaments and stuff like that. I found out that if you put them on a crock pot for a couple of hours, you can make kind of like a pulled pork with the legs, and it's delicious.
Mhm.
Um,
I've actually
and
started to use what is it called, like an instant pot for those, and it
yeah,
breaks down those tendons. I mean, 30 minutes, that
Right.
thing is
yeah,
killer.
absolutely. So
And that,
that's one
yeah.
thing that we try to do, and I think Jaime and Pai agree. Like we were like, you know what, let's take whatever we can out of here and let's eat it or use it for whatever, So um,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, this guy's had some great recipes.
Yeah.
We're all from different parts of or or at least our families. Pai, I know he's from Salvador, so they got different recipes than us. So their food is delicious as well. So it's always nice and interesting to see different points of views as far as like, what to make with the turkey. Not just your regular chicken breast nuggets or whatever. So it
Sure.
was
And
yeah, it was
that's why I'm so like enthralled talking to you guys about some of the culinary uses you guys use, because I grew up a Midwest guy. If you killed a turkey, you made either breakfast sausage with it or you fried it, right?
hmm
And now that I'm getting a little older, I've been exposed to all these different cultures, and being able to like use some of their traditional culinary techniques and recipes and just implementing wild
There's
game
Ivan.
into them. I mean, hey, Ivan.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
No, you're good.
Just in time. We're just here making everybody
Yeah.
hungry, talking about all this good food.
We told them that you
Yeah.
made enchiladas out of your turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still got some of it, and I also made some crab cakes with some of the meat that I left over.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've
How'd
already
those turn out? I bet
said
that's
you were
good.
gonna turn over these recipes, Ivan. So the everybody watching's just waiting for recipes from
Yeah.
Ivan here
What I
for
what I
turkey.
what I think is gonna be delicious is we kind of gave all the, I wouldn't say the spare parts, but like like the wings, and Ivan's mom is actually gonna make a mole. She's gonna make the turkey and a mole
Mm.
sauce, and I'm excited to try it because she is an amazing cook, and I think that
You'll
it's
have to
gonna be
let us know,
delicious.
because that sounds
Yeah.
delicious. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, take pictures. I'm serious. After this podcast gets aired, everybody's gonna be like, "Hey, you got them recipes from them guys you were talking to?" So
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, we
No,
can
most
we can we
definitely.
can write them down to the
send some
best of our knowledge. We got the whole Hispanic recipe where like it's a pinch of this and a pinch of
Yeah.
that. We
Oh
got the
yeah.
Sure,
measurements,
sure.
so
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
a
Even
handful of
even from where
that, and
even from where we cook it and stuff like that, we do it out of clay pots and pans. So
yeah.
all of this is authentic and
Mm.
to I guess to the fullest in that aspect.
That's
Ivan's
cool.
Ivan's mom, who's like again like Freddie said, an amazing cook. She was she's more from, I guess you could say, like from like farm, and man, her cooking is close to none of what you could find out here. It's unique. Her flavor is unique. Everything that she uses is unique. So I guess it's not just the hunt and everything you can do with it. It's the experience afterwards.
All the
It's
camaraderie afterwards. Correct.
yeah, the family
Sure.
coming together, over a hunt and just enjoying a taco in your hand, just with everybody having a good cold one, and just the environment, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing we talk about a lot, just kind of internally when we're just hunting ourselves or something. Is when I grew up, hunting was very much like this social activity. That after that hunt was over, you all went to somebody's bar or to their garage,
Oh
cooked
yeah.
up some of the game, told stories, had drinks. I mean, and we've really lost a lot of that. And so hearing your community still thriving in that direction, that's
hmm
cool. Now I would like to hear. It sounds like again you invited a lot of people over who've probably never tried wild turkey
Yeah.
before. What were their kind of immediate thoughts when they took that first bite?
Surprised. I think
Yeah,
I speak for all of us when I say their face reaction was, I guess, pretty much exactly what you could think. It was oh, I did not expect this to be this good, that one.
hmm
And then when they finally did, it was hey, can I have a second one? Can I have a third plate? Like that type of
that's a
deal.
good sign.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You mean that goofy looking bird running around here tastes that
Oh yeah.
good?
I will.
We had
Right.
a
I
in
will say
Aurora. We
that.
had a turkey. Remember, I was gonna tell the story about the Randy
Mm.
guy. So in Aurora, there's an area called Moose Heart. And there was a wild turkey running around on Randall. Randall Road is the name of the street. So everybody called him Randy. And when we brought the turkey, so everybody's like, "Oh, that looks like that Randy guy from Randall Road Street." And uh, but they loved it. I feel like a lot of times people have a hard time doing the disconnect between like, a store-bought turkey versus a wild one, and it's a little bit hard when it comes to trying it out and eating it. But man, they all loved it. They all loved the food, so it was a great thing to do. It was a great success with this turkey. So
Yeah, especially when I brought when they brought theirs, because mine was pretty much butchered when I brought mine. But when Pi and Freddy brought theirs to the house, my kids were home. They were like, "Did you guys kill a turkey?" And they would like poke at it, mess with it, pull it. Even my daughter went and grabbed wings out of it. She's like, "I want some wings out of this." I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "I just want some wings." But they weren't. I mean, I liked it that my kids weren't afraid of it. That's the one thing that I was like, I would tell them,
Yeah.
Sure.
now they weren't afraid. They would come up and touch it. My mother-in-law, she did mine. I took it to my mother-in-law for her to. She went ham on it, dude. Like she would she used an axe and cut everything. She's like, I'm not leaving anything to anything. So she cut it up like a butcher. She
yeah,
was butchering that thing up left and right. We're like, oh, now let's not
and
get my mother-in-law mad now, because
yeah,
But no, yeah, she.
like I said, we used everything. She used the neck, she used the wings, the liver, the gizzard, the heart,
Oh yeah.
everything. Yeah, so it was pretty
Oh,
cool to see a different perspective and a point of view on how to harvest your bird. How to process your bird, I should say. So
yeah. Everything but the feathers. Yeah.
yeah,
I feel like we gotta get some of your moms together for a cooking workshop. How do we get that going? Huh?
All right.
we
Oh yeah.
should, right? We should.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. We'll have a line out the door in no time.
Hmm.
For
I think
sure.
we will. Yeah, that we might have to. That'll be invite only. Everybody's going to want a ticket to that one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do we want to circle back? Do we have time to circle back and kind of have Ivan tell us about his story of how he
Yeah, I
got his
think
turkey?
that's kind of a good place to wrap up. Ivan, we've kind of heard from everybody else on how kind of their hunt went, how their harvest went. So if you just kind of want to give us a quick walkthrough of what you felt, what that moment was like, what the bird did, and just kind of tell us that story.
Well, yeah. I mean, the first day we got there a little bit late. It was kind of daylight already. When we got there, the birds were down already and everything. So we found a place to set up. I set up close to a road that we saw them walking the day before that we scouted. It was like a gravel road that they were walking around. Uh, as I sat down, I was waiting there. You can hear the pheasants in the background calling each other out.
Lots of pheasants.
It was a lot. Yeah.
And I just kept waiting. I would call like every 20 minutes. I wouldn't be calling constantly. I would wait like 20 minutes, call again, and see where the bird was at. Then I would call again. So as I was waiting, I saw a deer come by. Then I saw a coyote come by, and I was thinking to myself, like, should I shoot the coyote or should I just wait? Because I was like, if I shoot the coyote, I'm probably gonna scare the birds if they're coming this way. So I just waited and waited. And then I saw a hen go by, and then shortly after, like 20, 30 minutes afterwards, I see the tom coming by, and I waited.
Had you heard him at all at this point, or had he been completely silent?
He came in completely silent. He didn't even puff up to the decoys, anything. He was just like cruising right by it. He looked at the decoy, didn't even think about it. He just kept walking. But yeah, he will take a couple steps and then look around, take up a couple more steps, look around. So I slowly started to get my shotgun, aim at his head, and when he took those steps and then stopped, I shot him.
So how far was he at this point? Pretty close.
Nah, so I mean, he was probably about 30 yards.
Okay,
Yeah,
doesn't get much better than that.
yeah. I thought I was gonna have to shoot again, but I was like, nah, just let him die. I didn't want to mess him up.
Sure. Now, was that hen still around when you took the shot, or had she already kind of moved out of the area? And
She moved out because she went by like 20 minutes before the tom was dead.
man,
That really
that's cool.
shows like the diversity of ways that turkey hunting can go and can work out, right? Because sometimes you got birds that are talking to you, you're calling, they're calling, and it's interactive the whole time. Sometimes they're completely quiet, like that one was for you, Ivan, and sometimes, like you, Freddie, you're in the right spot at the right time because somebody else bumped them. So That's cool. Just so many different ways that it can work out, but there's even more ways that it can go wrong. So really
Oh
awesome
yeah,
that you guys were able to get 4 birds
Almost.
this year.
yeah. Sunday was an example. Like I said, it got rained on, and it was just unpleasant. Sitting on the rain, and we just say, you know what, let's just go home and call it. But I'm like I said, I can speak. I'm sure I can speak for the group when I say that we're back. We're glad that we came back that Monday because we were just about ready to give up. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And hunting seems to always play out that way. Whenever I'm in a deer stand, I'm like, all right, this day's done. It's time to start getting down. You look up and there they are.
yeah,
It just
Oh yeah,
always seems to play out that way.
definitely.
you're out of Little Debbie's, and you're like, you know what, I'm going back to the truck. So
Yeah,
Where's
yeah.
your head, Ivan?
oh, he
The
didn't pick it up. So
He didn't pick it
Yeah, I
up.
haven't
Um,
picked it up yet.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
do you
next
want
one.
to let
so
us know about the hat, your group there, Freddie?
yeah. So this is we call it FoxValley Caza Y Pesca, which it translates to fish and hunt. And it's kind of like the same concept as Illinois Learn to Hunt. We live in Aurora where there's a strong Hispanic community. A lot of times, we noticed that the language barrier was what was keeping people from getting on the outdoors. A clear example is Jaime's dad. As he mentioned, about 20 years ago, he was interested in going hunting. He just the language was a barrier, and then he didn't know where to start, how to start, and he didn't have anyone to mentor him. So this last year, when we noticed, hey, we kind of making an impact with the community here. People are coming out to us and asking us questions. So we decided to create this group, just to kind of help people get out on the outdoors, and get them
Yep.
started and get them excited about, not just hunting, but just getting outdoors overall. So, hunting is just the cherry on top of the sundae. So,
Yep. Definitely.
and it started. We're like on the baby phases of it, on the baby face of the whole group and program. But I think it's starting to catch up. We're getting a couple of people reaching out to us like, hey, where do I get permits? Where do I go hunting? And it's not just hunting. We do a lot of fishing. Ivan is our fishing guy here in the group, so he always has a lot of great tips and on where to hunt, where to fish, what to use when you're fishing, where to go, and all of that good stuff. So, it's a good group, and like I say, we kind of took the idea from Illinois Learn to Hunt and kind of applied it
Yep.
to the community here. And one thing I'd like to say is, even though we're doing this for the Hispanic community, anybody, whether you speak English or you don't, we will help you out as much as we can, get you out there, um, help you navigate through like the DNR website, the IRAT website, because they're obviously, I know you guys seen it. They're not always the easiest ones to navigate through. So um, we'll help them out with whatever we can, as much as we can, and then we'll
Hmm.
we'll send them in the right direction and set them up in the right on the right track to get started. So
And it's always good that we have
That's awesome that
all
you're
the
doing
Love
that.
that.
platforms. Yeah. Because that yeah, it just opens it up a lot easier for, like Freddie said, the Hispanic community, for all communities in general, to reach out, look at us and say like, oh, okay, if these guys can do it, why can't we do it? And that's I think as a group we all agreed on that, and we all saw how much it brought our families together of hunting, and we talk around the fire and sing kumbaya, I guess you could say, but it's just the platforms, are just sometimes more difficult because and other like the IDNR and stuff like that. There's so many links, and you don't know where to go to. You don't know how to navigate, and if you click on one wrong thing, you can end up, hunting elk in Canada or something. Or so, yeah. So this group, I would say, for all of us, has encouraged us to hunt more, to look for more options and possibilities, and I mean, it's brought Dan and Curtis to us. So everything that we've learned and experienced, it's just a great place to put it all and say, hey, we're just some average Joes, and we're doing this. Why can't you?
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. We'll definitely help you push that for sure. And so, yeah, we're going to encourage people, follow them on Facebook or Meta or whatever you call it. And I mean, like you said, it's hard. It doesn't matter if it's not a language barrier or not. You might have been speaking English your whole life. It's still hard. So
Yeah.
when you throw in a little bit of a language barrier, it's double hard. So anybody that's there to help people through that, we're going to take our hats off to you, because that's what we're trying to do. And we're basically trying to do the same thing. So hopefully we can work together and help more people like you find out that there's a whole host of adventures that they could be having that are deeper than playing video games or watching movies or whatever they're doing right now to recreate. And they can be doing it with their family, their friends, and really building up that community. So awesome. Love everything you guys said about that.
Absolutely.
Right.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Well, thanks for joining us today, guys. We're running short here on time, so if there's any kind of last comments you guys want to drop, again, we're going to put links down in the show notes or in the YouTube description if you're watching through YouTube, so you can check out their group, and we hope to continue this relationship moving forward. Maybe have you guys on every so often and just kind of give us quick updates, and hopefully maybe in the future we can plan some partner workshops where we kind of work together and do a really structured workshop and kind of get everybody involved. So. Keep up the good work, guys. Awesome.
I appreciate having us over here, guys.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you guys.
All right,
All right,
take it easy.
Take it easy.
All right.
See ya.
Yeah.